It's v.h.s.x? What do you mean?
Here we are, back again with another Ghostface commentary today. A few minutes were not recorded in this particular gameplay. We're still going to break it down because it does have a good amount of information for anybody starting out Ghostface or just wants to see a different kind of style with a different kind of build. So right here we're kind of going for some M1s here. We do want to try to get as much pressure as possible. We kind of overextended a little bit in the chase here. Did get to hit though, but I think it would have been better to actually lean off of the wall and gotten them 99 if possible. Honestly, that probably would have been a smarter play. I did try to go back around and see if I could mark up the survivors that were injured and, you know, make them one shot later on. Got revealed behind the wall, so we tried to go and rotate, but then I figured, nah, I better check the gen. It did have a lot of progress. That one was regressing, so we check on this gen, and we have the Trevor here about 50% marked. I tried to get a bit more. It's just not possible on this particular tile. The wall's a little bit too tall. There's plenty of cover, so we just went for the M1. Because we were revealed anyway, it would just be smarter just to have gone for the M1 initially. Now, as for this palette, I definitely could have played this palette better. Because of the fact that I was just so behind in terms of pressure and gens, it did make me get a little too hasty and be less patient with the gen, with the gen speed being as it is. I was a little bit less patient, which caused me to make a lot more mistakes here. Now, I decided, well, I want to get my Spirit Fury up at the very least, just at least 3 injuries. Getting rid of the pallets and making the area a dead zone is ideal, and also having Spirit Fury charged is going to just be the best case scenario while that gen's regressing. So solid. We do also get a knockdown around that area, so we're able to knock down that gen's progress by another 8%. And we can at least get the hook. We lose a gen around main, but that's okay. We kind of kicked out a 3 gen from the start of the game, which is to kind of just hold on to this half of the map. You got the 3 gens within that area. So we swing back around. We see the Dwight here. This is where we start to mark him up. Just trying to get as much as we can. We go ahead and break the gen, and we want to try to mark him up there, use our Spirit Fury, and then just knock him down there as well. So that was some pretty good pressure, about 2 hooks that were on the same time. We're a bit behind, but it's still pretty good considering the circumstances. So they just finished unhooking. We want to start rotating back over to where that unhook went off. We lose a gen for it. We want to start marking the as many as we can, trying to get that going. And we're just trying to stalk as much as possible because that is going to be very crucial. If they decide to heal themselves, they'll still be one shot, and that's ultimately what you need to rely on when you're playing Ghostface. He may not have chase potential, but if we're able to at least get them to be one hit as much as you can throughout the match, that's going to be your best course of action. So we did end up getting revealed by the Claudette, so we figured that we can just go ahead and chase them. They do actually go for a bad vault. She goes for a bad vault. We get our hit. Now they go for the unhook near us. We want to start following them and trying to see if we get down one of them. Now, I do make a mistake here. Like, I was trying to kind of count out the seconds to down the Dwight. I made the mistake there. I didn't really count it correctly. I should have taken the pallet. Gotten rid of the resource because that is a very strong pallet. That would have been the best thing to do in that situation. Clear out that pallet if they did drop it, and then continue to follow through because all these survivors were injured on that side of the map. I could have maybe slugged them, gotten them out of the game, but I was, because I had made that hit on the endurance, that was a mistake. I had went back to check on the gens just to make sure that it wasn't being progressed. Now, I was trying to stalk. That was a bad move on my part. Because I ended up just getting revealed anyway. I did get my power back instantly from the pallet I broke, but it just didn't really I didn't really have to waste my power like that, especially on the LED that was already injured. That was unnecessary. I do go for the Dwight because I know that he is he should be like, this should be his second hook, so that's what we're trying to focus on, getting those survivors who have hooks. That's ultimately, like, you know, if you don't count your hooks, you need to start counting your hooks, especially you know, the more wins you start getting, you're gonna get tougher lobbies. So you want to be able to, you know, develop that skill. We do get the mark on the side of the wall there. On the Claudette, we want to try to get them marked up. You're trying to use a check spot, we use our own check spots, right? You mark them up and then we can just follow through. That does also mean that they're going to drop a lot of pallets. That's where the strength comes in. Gives you a lot of value. But if you haven't been counting your hooks, you need to count your hooks. Especially with a character like Ghostface, it doesn't have like a lot of, you know, room for error in that kind of way. You know, you definitely want to, you know, keep that in mind. That's a useful skill, especially for a lower tier killer. You need to be able to you know, be able to eliminate some survivors. That is going to be your best bet. I did go for that hook there, even though they didn't have any hooks, but I figured we at least have somebody on a hook. Tried to mark the Trevor, just didn't work. We got instantly revealed. I started rotating back around to check on the gens. I just had to make sure, because I didn't want to lose the 3-gen on this side of the map. So now I go ahead and break this gen with brutal strength. I'm rotating back over. We want to maintain this 3-gen. That's our only thing that can really be sort of our anchor when it comes to you know, when it comes to this match in particular. I did get revealed again. It was just my bad on that sense, but they did make a mistake there. We just get the down. It seems like they're trying to bait some kind of chase. I'm not too sure. She is going towards the gens that I want to defend, but I noticed that there's a Dwight here, and that's the guy that we want. I was gonna shift the play, go for the surge play, but then I realized that the Dwight was gonna be in the proximity, and then I figured this is the opportunity to capitalize on a mistake that they just made. We lunge right through the pallet. We have Spirit of Fury. We were able to get the down, and then we can finally eliminate a survivor at the 2-gen mark. Now, that's usually what I recommend doing, is eliminating a survivor at the 2-3 gen mark. Just to give you enough time to be able to start to leverage the game. Here, I was trying to make sure I leaned as much as I could. So, ended up accidentally marking the Trevor, but the Trevor doesn't have any hooks anyway, so I figured we ignore Trevor. We go after Elodie. We know Elodie has had a hook. Did get revealed, so that means I can't mark. So I figured just M1 and then push them towards that 3-gen. She did stop there for a second. We just try to clear out the pallet. There's no way I will be able to just outmaneuver this, especially because there's like a ton of visibility. It's just impossible to mind game it. We just go ahead and break it, and we try to follow them toward the 3-gen so we can get Surge to activate and allow for some regression damage to the gen. We clear out another pallet, and just keep them in this area. That's ideally what they want, you know. Like, what we want to happen here is to get down them around the 3-gen. We break that gen on its own. We switch over. Claude 99 to heal, so we're gonna 99 to stalk. Best course of action for that. Just go ahead and do that, because, you know, they're gonna try to do stuff like that. Just keep that in mind. You know, especially if you're starting out. You know, the more you win, you're gonna get like more, you know, tougher lobbies and stuff like that. So that is going to be a very you know, maybe a play you haven't seen before if you are starting out. But they will 99 their heal, so that they are able to take a free hit, and, you know, bait you to chase them because you think they're injured, and then they'll just finish off their heal, and then, you know, basically that hit would mean nothing. So you just, you know, with Ghostface, you can kind of counteract it. You just be a bit more patient, you know, and then you just mark them up for later, so you can still be one shot regardless of the heal. And you don't have to waste your time M1ing, giving them what they want, right? From here, we try to check on the gens, make sure that they are still regressing. Ideally, we find a survivor, whether injured or marked, as you can see with Claudette being about 80 to 90% marked. We find any of them, and we can start to get some pressure from there, depending on which survivor it is. Now, Claude's kind of baiting a chase. She hasn't gotten any hooks, so it would make sense that she would go for that. Now, we did get stuck on the bench there, but we do continue to follow her. They do finish a gen. you know, away from the 3-gen, which means it's good for us. We swing through, right? We try to swing through, try to get them to stun with the pallet to use Spirit Fury. They didn't do that. We get the down. Now, this Claw hasn't gotten any hooks before, but we just figure, you know, if they're going to heal, which you're noticing there, that they're both finished a gen and they decide to start healing each other, that's my opportunity to go for a hook toward the 3-gen, and then we can just kind of defend this side of the map. Now, normally I wouldn't really care enough to hook a survivor without any hooks when you're in a position like this, but we use this as an opportunity to then start to mark down the lane from where I feel like they might kind of come through, so that I figure on the right hand side of where I'm standing is where they're going to run to, because main building is a lot stronger, and it's a little bit safer in that position. So that's why I start to lean around that side. Then we start to mark up the idea is to mark up the Claudette in case she gets fully healed by her teammate. And then I start to rotate around and try to see if I can make a play. So from here, I start to kind of get an idea. We start marking up Trevor a little bit, 99 him. Start to mark up Elodie a little bit more, 99 her if I can. And just have everybody 99 at the same time, kind of get an idea of what to do next. Now, depending on who closes in for the gen, turns out it would be Claudette. We want to chase them around the 3-gen. That's how we kind of defend it with our proximity. We could defend it, make it a lot harder for them to, you know, safely get a gen done. And it seems like they kind of flew off from that vault there. So I checked in the gen mid-chase. Seems like Trevor's coming in for the body block. That's when I go ahead and use my mark from earlier to go ahead and go after Trevor, because I know he also has hooks and he also does not have access to any of his second chance perks, especially because he's full health. So he is a much better one to chase. There's no hook near the 3-gen that I want to go for. They're just too far, so I just go for the closest hook and make a play from there. All right, so we just hook him up. We know he's on second hook. We can use that. We notice the blood trail, so that means there's somebody here. The Claude, who's been marked from before. I can pretty much follow her. We have our Spirit Fury ready. And you're going to notice there really quickly, crouch tech, try to get them to use their dead hard, use it to my advantage, got them on the hook after that. That's something you can use as a Ghostface main, or even as in any other killer. If you have like an animation that can kind of look like you're swinging your weapon, use that to bait out the dead hards. And he does sprint burst over to go for the save. I think he might be quitting. And that's when I go for the Elodie here, which I believe she had sprint burst as well, so I just gone ahead and marked just to make it easier to knock her down, and then we go after the Claude here. So getting into the chase with the Claude here, she does get the vault. There's a pallet either on this side or the other side. It's on this side this time. Use brutal strength and we break it. Now here's a little bit of a mind game. They may attempt on the staircase. That's why I was patient there. What they try to do is they try to double back as you fall down over that ledge to try to cut off the distance there. I hesitated, which allowed them to, you know, kind of get stuck in that position. If she didn't have her dead hard there, which you see me nodding, if she didn't have her dead hard there, she would have gotten down instantly. But that is going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Consider subscribing for more content like this, educational or entertaining, edutainment, whatever you want to call it. You know, consider becoming a member, joining the Patreon, and if you want to watch any live streams, we have links in the description. If you want to watch on Twitch or YouTube, hit the noti bell, join the Discord, and hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it.